Alright, SlimmBob here. Time for another review. And this time a film. A controversial film. Quote. And yeah, this film came out in 2002. And I actually reviewed this, well, I filmed this like a few days ago. But I was editing video and I had like an ulcer in my gob. It's still there, but it's just about gone. But I would talk, you couldn't understand what the fuck I was saying, so I was like talking like Sylvester Stallone, like, right, you know, like really. So I decided to film this again. So, yeah, this film, Irreversible. And yeah, apparently it's notorious. Well, it's notorious because it's got a rape scene in it. And yeah, basically I've tried watching this probably a couple of months ago actually, but like, I couldn't physically watch it because, well, I'm going to get into it, but the direction in this film, like the first half hour of this film, I don't know what the director was thinking, but the camera spins constantly, and it made me it gave me motion sickness. I mean, I watch a lot of found footage films, right? And the spinning camera in this film was much worse than any found footage film I've ever watched. Even bloody August Underground didn't make me feel ill. And that is terrible for it. And you can't see what's happening in that because picture quality is that bad. But like this, no, I couldn't put up with it. So, yeah. And it didn't help that I was drunk when I watched it first time. So yeah, I watched it like a week ago, like sober, and yeah, I had to actually put my hand, I had to stop the film at certain points because I felt ill. I had to recuperate. And whoever the fucking director were, fuck you, because that's stupid, that. And even right at the end, like, he tries to kill you. Like, if you're epileptic, don't bloody watch this film. It like really violently like flashes, like pure white, black. It just right violently flashes and then gives you this right weird faint image of the cosmos, like trying to be all high and mighty and pretentious. And yep, that's my final verdict of this film. It's so fucking pretentious, this film. And I don't understand why people are saying it's really good. And oh, God. Anyway, what's the story about in Irreversible? Well, I'm going to explain it in, you know, real order, not the order of the movie. Because the film is actually, every event you see, it's done backwards. Well, it's not in reverse, the film isn't in reverse, but you know what I mean. Basically, every time a scene ends, the camera goes up and starts spinning, and then it comes back down. And that's kind of to show that it's gone back in time, if you know what I mean. So basically it shows the events of this night where, well, alright, there's a woman's been raped, right, in this underpass, and basically her boyfriend and her ex-boyfriend decide to get revenge. They find out that it's this bloke called Latenya, right, I think that's his name, I'm sorry if I'm wrong, and they go to this gay club called Rectum. Subtle, innit? Very subtle. So yeah, they're gonna wreck him. They find him. Well, they think they find him, and it turns out he's with this other guy, and they mistake the other guy for the tenure. So yeah, they hit him on the head with a fire extinguisher and kill him, that guy. And then the boyfriend's arms get snapped, so he goes in hospital, but the other guy gets arrested, and I assume, well, you don't see it, but I assume that the boyfriend will get arrested as well. But yeah, so in the end, it turns out, right, the Latenya, right, well, it shows this old guy talking to this other old guy, and he kind of talks about stuff like how he goes on about, like, he confesses that he raped his daughter. So, obviously he's a rapist, so, you know, safe to assume that he's the guy who raped the other guy's girlfriend. And that's the plot. That is basically what happens. They're not really spoilers because that's what you see in the first, like, half an hour of this film. And that is my problem with it. It's such a simple there's nothing to the plot at all. That's what I don't understand. Like, because what happens, right? It gets to a point where basically you see the girl, like on a stretcher, and she's right beaten up and stuff, and that's the point where the bloke decides to get revenge. So to me, that is where the plot starts, and it ends when you find out the rapist got away with it. Instead, we get like 40 minutes of stuff, just filler. It's filler. It's like, even a bloody rape scene, you don't need to see that because you've seen her on the stretcher already, so you already know she's had it rough. You already know exactly what's happened. The rape scene, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I've seen worse. The Serbian film. A lot of people will find it shocking. I mean, I'm not saying it weren't horrific. It were horrific. It were really well done. As far as rape scenes go, it's one of the most memorable, I'd say. It's very horrific. It's really well filmed. It was very good, but no to do it. You don't need it in film because the story ends when you see the guys go to get revenge. That's when it ends. And it's another one of those films where it tries to, it's just not subtle at all. It tries to make it seem as though there's a hidden message in it, like, well, just for title, you can bloody tell. I mean, I do understand what they're trying to say, like, because the whole point, all the filler you get for the rest of the film, it's just to show you these people and their lives and stuff. And they're trying to say, I see what they're trying to do, they're trying to make it like, so that it's to say, you've seen all these horrific things, and you've seen what's happened, and no matter how far you go back in time, you cannot reverse what's happened. I think that's what they're trying to do. But it's really, it would be alright if it was subtle, and if it revealed something about the plot. When you see the girl on the stretcher, you know everything about the plot. Literally, after that, there is nothing more revealed. And that's my main problem with this film. It's, but yeah. And then there's there's one more important thing, kind of. Even that's not important though. Like, you find out, like, the last scene of film, pretty much you find out that the girl's pregnant, like the girl was raped. And it's like, I wouldn't mind if that scene were like a couple of minutes. A couple of words with boyfriend, he goes to work or whatever the fuck, she goes and has a test, and that's it. That should be it. But no, the scene goes on for like 10 minutes, and they're just laying there talking about crap. None of it's important, and just foreshadowing. This, oh god, the foreshadowing in this film. It does really stupid things, like, do you know when you get those kind of programs where they've been made now, but then they're set in the past, and they make references to modern stuff all the time? Well, it kind of, and you just think, oh god, what are you doing? It kind of reminds me of that, because they're constantly saying, oh, with, like, the girl, right, because she was raped in this underpass that's like a tunnel in it, right? And she says this thing like, I had a dream. Like, she wakes up and it's like, oh, I had a dream that I was in a tunnel and the tunnel broke apart or something like that. And it's like, oh, and then she goes, the other guy, the ex, right, he's talking, basically one scene, they go into the party. That scene goes on 10 minutes and all, and no happens in it. They don't talk about anything useful. I mean, the only thing you get from that scene is that the ex cares more about the girl than he knows, you know what I mean? He has a deeper bond than this new guy. I mean, he's the one who hits the guy to death. He kills the guy. So to me, I already knew that because I'd seen him, you know, kill a guy. So I know already that, well, both of them anyway, they've both gone to these extreme lengths to get revenge, so you already know that they care about her. I don't see why you need half a film to explain that. Some of it is funny, I don't know if it's intentional, but like, that guy, he talks about the same thing over and over again, about like, how he's asking her like, why didn't I please you and all that crap. And they have the same conversation for like 10 minutes, and there's no progression in conversation and stuff. But, oh, I forgot what I was fucking talking about. There's one point in conversation that just made me, it just made me like, right, the woman, she basically, she's asking like why he didn't please her or something while they were together, and she basically says something like how he was robotic or whatever, and she says that part of the pleasure of the woman is knowing that the man is having pleasure, and it's just like, come on, I mean, this is the rape scene, you've just seen a rape scene and then that, and it's like, oh come on, it's just, no, that's what I mean, this film tries to be clever, and he thinks he tries to be artsy just by shoving in like a 2001 Space Odyssey poster in back at one point. And then like end that with Cosmos, and it plays some classical music. If you're looking for a gore film, a shock film, because that's what this has been marketed as, that's what it's known as. If you're looking for a shocker, none of this film's shocking, except the rape scene. So, that fire extinguisher scene is, it's good violence, but I wouldn't say it's shocking. I think, the only thing, I must say what I really liked about that though, I liked, how many times do you see it in a film where someone's hit with something on head and then they just go unconscious? But in this, when the guy's hit with the fire extinguisher, he's hit 8 or 9 times and he's still conscious. And I liked that. So, yeah, the only shocking scene is the rape scene. That's the only reason anyone's going to watch this. I don't know, I'm going to give it 2 stars, 2 fingers out of 5. Because he really didn't do out for me. It felt really pretentious. The scenes that were shocking, well, the scene that was shocking was unnecessary, and he did offend a lot of people. I can understand, like, at festival, like, you know, you haven't been told about it, because that's the thing. That's another thing which I didn't really like, because if you've got a shock film, the whole point in it being a shock is that it's surprise, if you know what I mean. Like, something like, because you've got so many references to that scene before it happens, and you know, at that point you've twigged that, you know, time's been reversed, so you know at some point you're going to see it, and that ruins the shock for me. I knew exactly what was going to happen, because you see her in the States, so you already know that she's been beaten up, and you know she's been raped, because they, you know, they've already interrogated people about it and gone to this place, so to me it seems like an experiment, like something you get if you went to film school, or it's like something we do. We did an exercise like this at uni, like where we had to write a story and then fuck about with chronological order it and stuff, and this seems like an experiment, the gear, and he's been given that assignment and decided, you know what, let's try putting our film in reverse. And because to me, I think this film would actually work better if it were in proper order, because you'd have that build-up and stuff, and you'd build these characters. I don't understand why they haven't decided to build the characters before you do stuff to them, because that way it's a lot more engaging, because you care what the fuck's happening to them. If not, it's like you're an outsider. Why? But yeah, so yeah, 2 fingers. Only see it if you're really curious. There isn't much to this film, to be honest. It tries to be clever, but to me it failed. Don't know about you, but it failed to me. And if you're motion sick, watch it in a brightly lit room. Watch it in parts, because it really does. It made me feel ill. It gave me a migraine. So be careful. If you're epileptic, fucking hell, don't bloody watch it, or at least turn it off. Like, as soon as you see her say she's pregnant, turn it off, because after that it tries to kill you. So yeah, what did you think of this? Oh yeah, and special thanks, I forgot your name, but basically they commented on one of my videos, my Martyrs review I think, and they convinced me to watch this again, so thank you, whoever commented, because I don't regret watching it. So yeah, it wasted a night, so why not? What did you think of this film, everyone? Let me know. Anyway, this is SlimmBob. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.